In this, I'm going to talk a little bit about what is happening with the Mexican food prices. If you look at the food prices around the world, it has gone up about 30% across all commodities, but among wheat and corn, this has gone up by over 60%. On the other hand, the food price of cotton has gone up by about 130%, and this is true for most of the countries all across the globe. Average Mexicans spend around 30% of their income on food. Thus, rising food price naturally affects Mexico a great deal. And in many countries, food prices have caused riots, toppled governments. We have to look no further than recent events in Egypt. The genesis of the unrest in Egypt can be traced directly to rising food prices in general and rising price of bread. A few years ago, a substantial rise of price of onions brought down a democratically elected government in India. In Mexico itself, Calderon government has painful memories of 2007. In early 2007, corn price was soaring across the globe, and it led to big marches in Mexico City for rising tortilla prices. Since 2006, Zagarpa has helped the Mexican government to buy corn futures to guard against agriculture price fluctuations. The program made sense because Mexican government routinely provide 50 to 100% subsidy to corn consumed in the country. However, such hedge was not large enough in 2007, and the price of tortilla rose. To avoid such problems, the budget for such programs rose to over 10 billion pesos in 2010. And Mexican government did buy a large number of corn futures in 2011. Generally, Mexican government has been pretty shy about talking about these programs, but in this case, they actually made a lot of noise saying what they have done in this market. Now, what is the relationship between price of goods, agricultural goods, and inflation? In middle-income countries, such as Mexico, roughly a third of the money is spent on food. So rise in food prices lead naturally to inflation. However, it doesn't mean that 1% rise in food price will lead to 1% additional inflation. In January 2011, the Mexican government declared that inflation in January was one of the lowest in recent times. However, the Mexican public is always suspicious of such pronouncement, as it believes that the government tends to under-report prices of things. Now, this is going to change in the near future. Two economists, in particular Alberto Caballo of MIT, has launched a program called the Billion Prices Project. What it does, it publishes daily price indexes and provides real-time inflation estimates around the globe. Currently, it has about half a dozen countries such as the United Kingdom, US, Italy, France, Turkey, Australia, and a few Latin American countries such as Argentina. What Caballo has shown that in case of Argentina, this has been very striking. The Argentinian government has consistently underreported the price index by about 50%. Now, with this project success, this won't be so easy in the future.